Yeah.
Or Shanghai Shek
Yeah.
soldiers.
Then across the Yalu River.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first element was 300,000.
Yeah.
The south bank of Yalu River. We didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But you
yeah, we
fought
captured
Chinese soldiers in,
one North Chinese POW. Where are you from? He said, mainland China. Where mainland China? Oh, even Hainan Island, way down south. How many? Oh, full mountain, full mountain. Oh, you are the Chinese? Yeah. You are not Korean, the Chinese-born Korean? No, hell no, we are exactly Chinese. We used to be Kuomintang. What the unit? Oh, 39th Army. They wear the cotton, and they, you know what? One American journalist recently published Coldest Winter.
Yeah, David Halberstram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wrote my story.
Yeah, I knew Halberstram. He came to the Truman Library
Oh,
to do some research.
very fine.
Yeah, and in his acknowledgments, he says nice things about me and my staff. So, yeah, I think his book is full of good stories of that war.
Yeah. His copy, Japanese translation and the Korean translation also.
Now, when you encountered Chinese,
Yeah.
you reported that to the Americans.
Yeah.
They reported it to MacArthur, but
But
he didn't believe it.
one was underestimate,
Underestimated.
and one was ignore. You know, his intelligence chief, Wallaby. Wallaby is not good for General MacArthur.
Yeah.
You always, you know, MacArthur, MacArthur, what we call English, his wishes, you know.
Yeah. Told MacArthur what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Professor Millett, Alan Millett, says that at the time of the Korean War, MacArthur had bad hearing.
Yeah.
And so as a result, he didn't have staff meetings. He just met with Willoughby, Almond, other people,
Yeah.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
So he never had the benefit
Yeah.
of listening to different opinions
Yeah.
in the same room.
Yes,
And-
exactly.
Yeah, and as a result, he only got people like Willoughby and Almond to tell him what they thought MacArthur wanted to hear.
Sure.
And had he admitted his bad hearing and got a hearing aid and had staff meetings where people could argue back and forth,
Sure.
that maybe MacArthur would have made some better decisions.
Sure.
But after the Americans began to retreat from Pyongyang, Walker retreated very quickly,
Yeah.
and then he was killed and replaced
So
by...
south of Uijeongbu, the car accident, the 23rd December 1950. Then General Ridgway replaced him.
Yeah. Many American military historians think Ridgway was even a better general than Walker, maybe better than MacArthur also.
Ridgway always follow Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't argue with Washington.
Yeah, he didn't argue.
But as a commander in the battlefield, what did you
He's
think
very courageous. He wear the hand grenade.
Yeah.
I don't know as a copy or not, but anyway, he was courageous. He emphasizing the two echelon emphasizing. Once you're gonna battle, division commander must go out the battalion. Regiment commander must go out the company. To you must go to reconnaissance, not just estimate. You know, reconnaissance must be the true reconnaissance. They capture POW. They exactly, you know, the situation to analyze, and just only put, you know, red pencil to, you know, enemy situation. You must capture the enemy POW. And sometimes radio out. Our ancestor, ancestor never have telephone that time. You must have foot to go out. He very emphasized.
백장군님께서 평양으로 쳐들어가셔서 그러시고서는 이승만 대통령 때 여기서 이제 그만 스톱하자 이렇게 조언을 하셨을 때 그때 말씀 안 하셨어요?
아니요, 그때는 저 압록강까지 다 같이 가자고 했죠.
백장군님께서도요?
예, 하지만은 그 중공군이 저렇게 나올 줄은 우리가 몰랐죠.
네. General Peck said he did not advise Isengman that they should stop at Pyongyang. He said they all believed that they needed to push up to Amnokam. And he and others didn't know Chinese would really enter the war.
But the Chinese had warned that if Americans and UN went into North,
38th parallel.
Yeah, they would not intervene. But they would not intervene if South Koreans crossed 38th parallel.
Right.
They didn't want American and UN.
Right.
So my question would be, does he think South Koreans alone could have unified Korea at that time? Yeah.
At that time, South Korea, Korean forces it's not mature. You know, we were only independent. You know, only 2 years later.
Yeah.
You know, and American military government. You know, General Hodges.
Yeah.
That time they didn't help us. You know, American government.
Yeah.
We asked North Korean, you know, heavy arm. They 300 T-34 tank, 200 combat aircraft, and 1,200 artillery piece, and 3,000 Russian military advisor gave them hard training for them. We already knew, but the American government very reluctant to help us. We don't have any single tank, no heavy artillery, and no one combat aircraft. Very, very little, only 9, only 90,000 forces. North Korea 200,000 forces.
Yeah. And
it's unbalanced.
Yeah. Many people think that the Americans were reluctant to give tanks and airplanes to Isigman.
Yeah, Isigman asked them.
Well, Isigman kept saying he was going to unite Korea by force, and Americans were afraid if he had offensive weapons, he would attack North Korea, and the United States didn't want any war going on. So, you know, they were reluctant to to trust easy mind with these kinds of weapons.
At that time, the Americans, they don't know Asia.
Yeah.
Now America is much, mature, the leading world policy.
Right.
At that time, Americans, they knew very little, and Americans sometimes very funny country. It's a good country, but World War II, American Army expanded 100 divisions. All over, they squeezed 10 divisions. 10 divisions, they cut half men and half equipment. You cannot fight. Korean War came, 4 American divisions was under MacArthur leading, only half troops.
Yeah.
So General MacArthur asking to the President Lee, why not using the Korean military, Korean labor, Korean young men we call Katyusha, Korean Army augmentation to the United States Army. They 50,000 brought from Korea to back to Japan to training. And MacArthur landed in Incheon, the 2 American divisions to fill up manpower, then landed in Incheon. This story we don't know probably. You know, this is still, this is Katyusha we call. There are still 3,000 Katyusha in American 2nd Division even today.
Yeah, my nephew was a Katyusha.
Oh,
Her brother's son
I see.
was a Katyusha.
This is my name of the for citation for Katyusha,
I see.
Paxonyo, and American soldier for the American what do they name of the one Volpe, name of the Sergeant Volpe.
Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy 아닙니까?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy. 배우, actor.
Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy, yeah.
Yeah.
They're still doing every 3 months. This is the citation.
At the end of World War II, I was born in January of 1945.
Oh, 45?
Yeah.
Okay,
so at that time, my father had been sent to Europe. He left in May of 1945. So my mother was pregnant when he went to Normandy invasion, and he was also at the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. And as soon as World War II was over, my mother, like thousands and thousands, many millions of American wives and mothers, they wanted their sons and husbands back home right away. My mother even sent a letter to President Truman saying, now that the war is over, my husband should return. You know, but the war was still on against Japan. But Americans were tired of the war. 13 million men and women were in uniform. Everyone wanted them to return. And hey, we've defeated the Nazis, and the Japanese are going to be defeated soon. So let's get the war over with. We want to go back to civilian life. We don't want to, the nation had gone into huge debt because of the cost of World War II. So many Americans were concerned about the big debt and how will we ever pay this off. We needed to balance our budget, you know, cut the military back because there's peacetime. And many Americans thought that because we had nuclear weapons, that no one would attack us and that other people should be able to defend themselves. But you're right about Korea. Few Americans knew Korean language. Few Americans had ever visited Korea because for 35 years it was part of Japan.
Sure.
And if you looked at a map of the world printed in 1920s or 1930s, it didn't show Korea. It just showed Chosun, you know, same color as Japan. And other than a few missionaries, I mean, we had no diplomats in Korea. You know, missionary people like the Underwood family.
Sure.
Well, I knew Horace Underwood very well, and they knew about Korea, but they didn't have influence with the government or with diplomats. They were missionaries, and so it was. And even Underwood would admit that in 1945, when he came back to Korea to be a missionary and teacher, Korean was his third language.
Sure.
Because he grew up under Japanese occupation.
During Japanese occupation, the World War II, after Pearl Harbor, Japanese government general, they are chasing back to American missionary back to United States.
Yeah.
They have a very empty here.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
North Korea was Mr. McCune family there.
Yeah.
We went to Pyongyang 19 September. 19 October. One of our missionary men, Mr. Bonheiser, he was the captain with us that time. He was born in Pyongyang. We took to Pyongyang. He immediately back to his old home, Soyangcheon, Western
Western style house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Pyongyang was famous for
So
strong
missionary.
Christian and missionary school.
Yeah. Even hospital and the school, 숭이학교, 숭이전문학교, 숭이중학교, 숭이여학교.
Yeah, in the 1920s and 30s, missionaries from China and other places would send their children to Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Billy Graham, the famous American evangelist, his wife went to high school in Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very famous. Yeah.
And they were a big rival of Seoul Foreign School in baseball and other sports. Yes. And well, we very much appreciate your taking time to visit with us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's an honor to meet you. And
I heard you before, but anyway, very glad to meet you and your wife.
Yeah,
You still live in Missouri?
Yeah, in Independence, Missouri.
Yes.
And we have a son who lives here in Korea.
Oh.